Hello students, welcome back to Physics with Safdar. Now you are watching IGCSE Physics Past Paper Solution series. Today we are going to solve questions from paper 2 and the topic is wave diffraction. We have chosen few questions from the past papers and that really help you to prepare your exam well. The question number 1 you can see on your screen. Radio waves are received at a house at the bottom of a hill. The waves reach the house because the hill has caused them to be, and you have 4 options. You can see clearly you have these vertical lines. These are the wave fronts, and wave fronts are another way to represent waves. Radio waves, you can see they are traveling left to right. Here you can see one house, in between you have a hill. What do you think? What would be the effect of hill in the direction of radio wave? Will they go straight or they bend? So they do not move forward straight, actually they bend. What is this? This is called diffraction. So look at the definition of diffraction. The waves bend around the sides of an obstacle is called diffraction. In this case, obstacle is hill and the radio wave bend around this hill, and you need to select which one is the right answer. Diffracted, radiated, reflected and refracted. So it is very clear radio waves are diffracted because of that obstacle hill. Option A is the right answer. This is question number 2. The diagram shows plain water waves passing through a narrow gap in a barrier. The wave is spread out on the far side of the barrier. Which property of wave does this illustrate? And you have 4 options. Look at the diagram. You can see these vertical are called barrier. This portion is called the gap, and you can see clearly left side vertical line. These are straight wave fronts. Right hand side you can see semicircular. These are called circular wave fronts. What happens actually when the wave travel left to the right? Look at this. Here you can see these arrow indicate the direction of wave travel. They are straight. After through the gap they spread out. So what is this? This is called diffraction. So look at this definition. The wave spreads out as they pass through a gap. This effect is called diffraction. So now you can select your answer is diffraction, reflection, refraction or vibration. It is very clear. The process is diffraction. So option A is the right answer. This is question number 3. A water wave in a shallow tank passes through a gap in a barrier. What happens to the speed and what happens to the wavelength of the wave as it passes through the gap? And you have 2 columns. In first column you can see speed of the wave. Second you have wavelength, and you can find which one is the right option. Look at the question again. What we have, you can see clearly these are called barriers, and this part is the gap between the barrier, and these vertical lines are called straight wave front. The arrow indicates the direction of water wave moving left to right. What happens with the water wave when through the gap? Look at this. Before the barrier, left hand side this portion, and right hand side after the barrier. You can see clearly now the wave fronts are circular. That shows when the water waves through the gap, it's diffract. What happens in the process of diffraction with the speed of wave, its wavelength and frequency? In process of diffraction, frequency of the wave remains same, wavelength remains constant, and speed remains constant. Now look at the options what we have. Option A, speed decreases and wavelength decreases. Not correct. B, speed decreases, wavelength remains constant. Speed decreases, not correct. Wavelength same, it's okay, but it cannot be our answer. C. Speed remains constant, it's okay, but wavelength decreases, not possible. Option D. Speed remains constant and wavelength is also constant, so that is the right option. So option D is the right answer. This is question number 4. The diagram shows the surface of water in a ripple tank. A wave is traveling in the direction of the arrow towards a gap in a barrier. Look at the diagram. These vertical portions are barriers and these vertical lines are called wavefronts. Arrow indicates the direction of water waves travel left to the right. Now look at the question what we have. What happens to the wave as it passes through the gap? Second, and what happens to the shape of the wavefronts after passing through the gap? And you have 4 options. This diagram. This arrow indicates the direction of water wave traveling left to right. What happened with the wave when it through the gap? It spread out. So what is this actually? You know well, when the waves spread out as they pass through a gap, this effect is called diffraction. So come back to the question, what happens to the wave as it passes through the gap? It's diffract. Second, what happens to the shape? So you can see clearly the shape of wavefronts now are circular. Move on to the option. Option A. What happens at the gap? Diffraction. Correct. Shape after passing through the gap, curve. Also correct. That's why option A is the final answer. This is question number 5. The diagram shows a water wave passing through a gap in the harbor wall. The wavefronts curve round the wall and reach a small boat in the harbor. Look at this diagram. These vertical lines are harbor wall and these are called straight wavefronts. Arrow indicates the direction of wave travel left to right. Right side you can see we have a boat. What happens actually when the wave through this gap? It's diffract. Because of the diffraction, the wave can easily approach to the boat. This is the situation we have. Now look at this, what we need to know. So what's the question we have? What is the name of this curving effect? Okay, and how can the gap be changed so that the wavefront do not reach the boat? You have 2 columns and 4 options are there. In first column you need to know name of effect, and second you will see the change of the gap. So what happens actually when the wave travels left to the right? They spread out. This is called diffraction of wave. So come to the definition. The wave is spread out as they pass through a gap. This effect is called diffraction. Look at the first part. You need to know what is the name of this curving effect. In option A you have diffraction, and B also diffraction, C and D you have refraction. So C and D cannot be our answer. We need to select from A and B only. Look at the second part. How can the gap be changed so that the wavefronts do not reach the boat? Look at the second part of the question. How can the gap be changed so that the wavefronts do not reach the boat? You can see here, in the first case, the wavefronts easily approach to the boat. Now, what I do, when I increase the gap size, so less diffraction takes place. Because of this less diffraction, the wave is spread like this. And you can see clearly the waves cannot approach to the boat now. So look at the option. The name of effect is diffraction, right? Second, make the gap slightly bigger. Because of that, wavefronts cannot reach the boat. So option A is the right answer. Thank you very much for watching this video. I suggest you follow the playlist of the channel. In that you can find all the lessons you need in your IGCSE physics. So keep watching Physics with Safdar for better results in exam. See you in the next lesson.